I know you've been getting calls like crazy. So what was your first reaction when you heard Keefe was finally arrested?
Man, like I knew it was inevitable. I knew that he was going to get arrested. But the day it happened, that was a surprise. So I immediately was calling people and calling Dupree and calling Mike Dorsey and just like, what the hell? It's finally happened. So super excited about it.
Right. I was just thinking. I was talking to James. You know James, right?
Yeah.
And I was just telling him, listen, you we've got to really, when you think about it, Greg created this kind of chain reaction, because if he didn't come out and put this information out there, he didn't write the book, he didn't do the documentary, there would be no Keefe D interviews, him coming out. Do you think about it?
Yeah, I do. It's weird. It's how these things, these ironies, like if I hadn't have retired and written the book,
Right.
then Keefe D would have stayed silent. But once the story was out there, he felt that it was then his story to tell. So it opened the door for him to go out and then begin, um, you know, talking about what he had said in his police interview,
Mhm.
and that led to everything. It just continued to evolve and create havoc for him anyways.
Right. What do you think about this whole, the media is taking advantage of it, it's creating a whole circus, this this person supposedly coming out, and what are your thoughts on everything that's just as far as the media?
What's the media is doing what it's going to do. Of course their whole motive is to get viewership and sensationalize things and exploit things and bring attention to it, and in this case that's good. I mean, everybody should be excited about this news. But again, it just also generates all the nonsense with it. All the hysteria creates a bunch of nonsense. You see Suge saying stupid shit. You see, just this whole new or whole, new gamut of just nonsense that's going to always be attached to these cases.
Yeah, let's address that. Well, recently, a few hours ago now, that Suge the Sun posted that Suge is going to be testifying, and then TMZ did an interview with Suge and him saying that he's not going to testify, and the shooter wasn't Orlando. He didn't confirm that it was Dre, but it wasn't
Mhm.
Orlando. So what are your thoughts, first of all, on that whole thing?
Well, my thoughts are this, and this I've always said this, and it hasn't changed. If Suge Knight's lips are moving, you can bet your life that he's lying. It's just the way that it is. If Suge Knight is talking, he's lying. It's all he does. He said Tupac's alive. He's alluded to Diddy's involvement. He's just always stirring the pot. It's just the nature of Suge Knight. But you can't take anything he says as truth without a whole bunch of corroborating evidence. Otherwise, it's just him running at the mouth like he always has.
Can we speak hypothetical? Hypothetical. Let's say is there some sort of deal for him if he was to testify against Keefe?
I don't see that. I don't see that the district attorneys in Los Angeles or the sheriff's department that has his current case, I don't see them making any kind of deal whatsoever in exchange for um, testimony in Keefe D's case. Now, there's some things to keep in mind here, and this is how it would play out. Of course, we know that Suge was behind Biggie's murder, so now your witness is going to be also a murderer who is trying to exonerate another murderer for the similar type of murder. And then, of course, it's going to get introduced because the big question is, and this is the question the media is asking, why is it taken so long for Las Vegas PD to solve this case? And I can tell you, if there is one reason, if there's one person responsible for this taking 27 years to solve, it's Suge Knight. Suge Knight could have had this thing solved in 24 hours. All he had to do when Las Vegas police summoned him for an interview, which he tried to avoid on multiple occasions, and then when he did go in, he said he didn't know anything. He refused to talk to him. All he had to do was say, listen, I pulled up, saw the white Cadillac. I looked right across. I saw Keefe D dead in the eye. It was Keefe D and his crew. And Tupac's case would have been solved in 24 hours. So for people who are upset about how long it took, but also want to give Suge any props or come to his aid, you can't do both. You know,
Right.
you can't do both. You can't be a Suge fan and a Pac fan.
Right.